I think the media wants a damn tinderbox. I wrote about this morning. The Fourth Estate is not concerned at all with justice or policing, and if they were, their reporting would reflect such in fairness and accuracy. The end. The end. CNN reported Biden is preparing for a tinderbox. They actually reported this. This is their thing. President Joe Biden preparing for a tinderbox with country on edge ahead of verdict in Chauvin trial. They said fearful that a controversial verdict could inflame new racial tensions. This is the same media that irresponsibly fabricated Officer Brian Sicknick's cause of death. New York Times. A United States Capitol Police officer died on Thursday night from injuries sustained while physically engaging with pro-Trump rioters who descended on the U.S. Capitol. Goodness. By the way, they have since surreptitiously retracted this. They didn't want you to know, thus surreptitiously. I know. And everyone ran with that. Remember, he was beaten to death with a fire extinguisher. That's what they said. You had some MAGA person out there beating him to death with a fire extinguisher. Christopher Wray refused to release any details surrounding the officer's death to the public. And President Biden himself attributed the death to the riot, like at the hands of rioters. Now, because nuance is dead and most people are stupid. I honestly believe that after so many, not you all, but everyone who is not us. Because I'm at that point where I'm just like, how either that or people are just willfully disingenuous. And I just find that malicious. That's not demonstrative of any kind of goodwill. You can believe several things at once. You can believe that the riot that broke away from the peaceful protest was wrong and the violence resulting thereafter was wrong and that people should be prosecuted. I'm totally fine with that because that's Capitol's my house. I pay my tax dollars. You don't be coming up into my house busting stuff up. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I also believe that you can simultaneously believe all these things, that the media was running with propaganda. You can also believe, not just in their irresponsibility, but in the irresponsibility of the people who broke away from the peaceful protest to wreak havoc and get violent. But here's the thing. Because anytime anyone questioned the narrative of this, because the Washington Post reported that, they're the bastion of conservative perspective. They said that the officer actually said he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes the day after the riot. I was reading the report from the chief medical officer, Francisco Diaz, the medical examiner. He said that there was no evidence that the 42-year-old officer suffered any kind of allergic chemical reaction to any kind of chemical irritant. It said that it would have caused his throat to quickly seize. There was zero evidence of any internal or external injuries at all. But here's the problem. Whenever anyone questioned this narrative, they were cast as conservative truthers. Sicknick truthers. That's an actual phrase that people on the left are using. You can't, I even asked the question at one point as to whether or not it was possible that the stress of the riot maybe caused a catastrophic health event. And I was immediately accused of, well, I'm asking a question, you moron. You're a Sicknick truther. You can't even ask a question. Anything short of he was murdered at the hands of an insurrectionist mob is disallowed. Apparently, it's beyond the realm of possibility to believe that the riot and subsequent violence was wrong and that the riot was a breakaway from the peaceful protesters who assembled earlier, and that we either back the blue, meaning support enforcement of law on constitutional limitations, or we don't.